All right, hello and welcome to my Canvas page here. But I just want to preface that I am sick. My voice thankfully came back today, so hopefully it doesn't give out on me as I'm presenting here. So, first things first, this took me all of like 10, 12 hours to complete in total. So, I hope you enjoy it. All right, so this is a health classroom. Specifically, this is going to be a unit on nutrition. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. So, that's my homepage. And then I go into announcements here, and I have a welcome to Health One. Excited to see the class and everything. And then hop down on the modules. So, I have this getting started module and I have my mission statement. I'm just going to kind of fly through these. Oh, my face is blocking. There we go. Right there. All right. So my mission statement has, why I'm doing this and whatnot. I'm just going to again fly through this. This is not the important part. All my goals and objectives. Teach information, introducing myself, picture of myself, my email, school phone number, my extension, a little bit about myself. And then this is like my intro activity that the students do on Screencastify. I try to make it as eye-popping as possible. Fun fact about me, I'm colorblind, so creating different colors and everything is not really my strong suit because I'll create a color and I won't really be able to differentiate it from the next set. Anyways, I digress. This is my Screencastify video intro activity where I just want them to introduce themselves, and it's just a fun little starter activity. And then course navigation, how to navigate the course. My syllabus that we created a while ago just goes over everything, my units, what's in the units, and whatnot. Policies, references, a lot of good stuff here. Discussion board policies. I have quite a few discussion board posts, and I want everything to be uniform and consistent, and I want them to know how they're getting graded and what not to do. Like, don't turn it in late, be off task, be disrespectful, and I refer back to that when I do post a discussion board. I link that back to it. References that I used, and let me go back to modules here. And then references, and then I have this section where you can ask your peers questions. So instead of asking the teacher if they're confused about something, they can have a forum where they can post questions to their peers and then get feedback and insight that way. And then resources, I have some links for them to utilize. Need help, it's just to contact me. And then all right, let's get into it. All right, so I have, first things first, the structure and outline of my unit. I have 4 weeks, so this is week 1, everything, week 2, week 3, and week 4, and then my group assignment. So we can notice right here, I have prerequisites for everything. So to get to the first part, you have to go through all the getting started and general information area, and that will open up the pre-assessment that I have, which is a Kahoot, which I am going to show you. So I have all the directions for the Kahoot right here while we're doing it. And you click on the Kahoot. And obviously I'm logged in, so it's not like a true student view, but if they were to do this, they wouldn't have like the host live option. They would just have everything else. So they would go play solo. They'd click play solo. I'll click it. And they would click class. And that's I think 11 question Kahoot, 3. And yeah, it's just a fun pre-assessment that they can do. It's easy, it's straightforward. It allows me to see their scores and how they performed, and as well as they can see how they performed and what they do and do not know. All right, so I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave that. Go back over here and go back one. And then after my Kahoot, I have the goal setting assignment. And as a health and PE teacher, so health teachers, we always learn to create SMART goals. Stands for like specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So I have them creating a SMART goal based on their pre-assessment. So after reviewing your pre-assessment results, set a SMART personal goal for this nutrition unit. Your goal should focus on something you want to improve or learn based on what you discovered about your current knowledge. So I have a rubric down here for this simple, straightforward rubric. Moving along. All right, so week one. So again, prereq, they have to do this right here before they get to week one. So I have my introduction to week one. Just lets them know what we're going over in this part of the module. And I built a slideshow here. So they would come here, click on the slideshow, and the slideshow will show them about macro and micronutrients right here. And they just scroll down, they get all the information they need for the week. Really, I have everything here all built out, pictures, definitions, content, and all. And then underneath that, I have a Quizlet, open Quizlet link. And it's a bunch of flashcards about stuff that they just reviewed, and they would click it. What are nutrients, and then nutrients or substances. What are macronutrients? They can test their knowledge, so on, so forth. Get out of there. Go back, and then I have an exit ticket. Exit ticket for them after week one. It says, "Hello, students. This is an exit ticket. We worth 5 points." They can refer back to the discussion board guidelines, need be, in case they forget, and then to respond to their classmates. So this question is explain how one or the 3 macronutrients support body function or energy. And then I want them to create a food diary. So I have the directions right here, how much it is worth. They may choose any 3 days. Basically, they're tracking what they eat in a week, but they only need to track 3 out of the 7 days. And so they would take this, they can download it and write right on it, or they can print it out. Either is fine, but basically they just need to pick any of these 3 days and fill that out and turn that in. All right, so that's week one, and then jumping on over to week 2, kind of the same deal. I have an introduction here about food labels, a little food label right here for them to preview. And then I found this really fun video. I just want to show you real quick. It's Are You Smarter Than a Food Label? It's like a whole little game show. It's very neat. It's very fun. A 5-minute watch, and they can kind of quiz themselves, test themselves on their knowledge. But before we get into that, let me go back. I skipped my slideshow. So back into the slideshow. So I have how to dissect a nutritional food label. And they would go down and they would read and look, check the serving size. I have everything highlighted. I have some comments here on the side. Again, everything's highlighted. Everything's annotated out to help them move along. Just goes from top to bottom on the food label. Very straightforward, but very informative. And then I have this cool Cameo assignment. So students I have the direction right here. Students are going to open this Cami link, and it's going to pull up this food label right here. And they're going to find a specific food or beverage in their fridge or food pantry, and they're just going to fill it in. So they're just going to translate the information from an actual food label, physical one, onto this online one. So it's not so much like new information. It's just like kind of like reiteration and practice for seeing the calories and having to write it down, and seeing the fat on the food label and then having to transfer it over, just so like hopefully it makes more sense for them. So clicking on that, right, just pulls up this, right, very simple. And they just take this text box and they would click it, and they would write like 12 grams of fat, and then so on and so forth. Leave that. And then, are you smart? Oh, wait, no, we already did that. Food label formative assessment. So here's my formative assessment that I created. It is 10 questions, 10 points. We're going to go down to build here so I can show you. So up top here, I have my directions. Make sure to read the entire question, answer the question to the best of your ability. Each question is worth 1 point. Good luck. So I have a multitude of multiple choice questions. I wanted to do higher level thinking, so the first one starts off pretty simple. It's the first thing you should look for in a nutritional fact label. That is slide number one that I gave them, serving size. And then I have them, like, doing some math. So if a food has 200 calories per serving and you eat 2 servings, how many calories did you consume? 200 times 2 equals 4. So it's not so straightforward. So I have multiple choice, right? And then coming down here, I have some open-ended questions. Why is it important to check the serving size before cooking or before looking at calories? Another one. And then I have a true and false. So I have different types of questions. It's a 10 question test. It's got some rigor to it. And I thought it's very realistic and something that I would actually use in my own classroom. So going back to week 3 now. Introduction. So here again, highlighting what we're doing for the week, why we're doing this, and I could honestly just hit next. But hydration slideshow. I like this slideshow that I built out here. I'm just gonna wait for this to load. All right, so the hydration blueprint. It goes through, water. Our body's made up of 60 to 70% water. Goes down here, why it's important. This relates back to athletes because, a lot of student athletes in classes, obviously. A urine test, like how to tell if you're hydrated, what steals your hydration, and action plans, all that. So moving on into my hydration video quiz. I actually really like this. I really am happy that I found this website, this little tool right here. So it's what students would do, right? It's very similar to Kahoot. It's basically like a video. I'll click on the video. There's no way to fast forward it because this is like viewing it as this. Oh, let's just resume. So basically, like these checkpoints right here, they pop up and they ask questions. Video pauses, you answer the questions, you continue watching, another checkpoint pops up. This is on Wayground. I highly recommend this. This website is awesome. You can take any YouTube video you want, and then you can just create checkpoints and create questions. So this is actually going to pop up here in a few seconds. So, oh, I already answered this. This next one kind of pop up. Yeah, we already answered these. So, yeah, again, I don't want to waste time right here. But this website's awesome. Again, creates checkpoints. You create questions. You check for understanding throughout the videos. Right here. Are you enjoying this video lesson? Obviously, yes. I wasn't like I have way better questions than that one. That was just a random checkpoint there. But like, yeah, right here, there's like 3 questions. Over here, there's 3 more questions. It's very cool. It's very cool. That's probably the one I'm most happy about in this whole entire presentation. And then hydration surprises. So this is a discussion board where they just go in and they post what surprised them about hydration. What are 3 hydration facts that surprised them? And then they're going to respond to classmates' posts. Pretty standard stuff. And then week 4. So week 4, I have my introduction. Right, just going over what we're learning about meal planning, why is meal planning important, just trying to get them excited for it best I can. My meal planning slideshow, again, provide them a PowerPoint. Click on the PowerPoint below. And hopefully this pops up quickly. And then I'm going to have my individual assignment. Oh no, we'll come back to that. We will come back to that, do not worry. And then I have my before we get to my individual assignment, I have my Padlet response here. This is cool. It's like right here. So basically, I already answered one, but students are just going to have a debate. It says, should schools be required to serve only plant-based food at lunch to promote health and sustainability? I said no. Mandatory plant-based meals ignore dietary needs and cultural preferences. But basically, students would just click one or the other and then defend their stance. So I think that's really cool. Really neat. And this is my individual assignment. Show off your plate. So it's kind of like my plate. It's kind of like a spin off my plate for your plate. So students would basically take a picture of their plate, and then they're going to create a screencast on Screencastify, and they're just going to talk about what food groups are present, and then the macronutrients they're looking at, so they can like point out like the carbohydrates, the protein, or this is where the fat's coming from, and then look at the color of the plate, right? They always say like eat the color of the rainbow because different color vegetables and fruits have different kind of nutrients and micronutrients in them. And then performance connection, right? So how might this meal fuel you for activity? So if they're eating some protein, they can say this is good for after lifting or after exercise, after a sports game, and then submitting that the link, the Screencastify link, making sure that anyone with link can view. And then I have a rubric down here for that. And then I have my group assignment. So the premise of my group assignment is I want them to be like a dietitian and a patient and make a skit out of it. So 3 students, the roles are dietitian, patient, and then the observer and narrator, someone that can add commentary, something maybe like the producer, we can even call them. But basically, they provide a script, they produce the video, they make the video using iMovie, and they need to come up with some like props, some visuals, whether that be real, fake food, stuff like that. Water bottles, notebooks, tablets. I really want them to like really put themselves in the dietitian's shoes and create a meal plan for someone, and that person's going to tell them like what are their goals, what do they want, and they're gonna make it like real life and just have fun with it. So this is my group assignment, and I have a rubric down here. It's out of 20 points. Again, straightforward rubric, but I think that the flow of it is very good. And then let's go back here. And then, yep, just want to showcase my discussion board here. So I have 4 discussions. I have my introduction one, my week 1 exit ticket, hydration surprises, and then of course I want to keep this ask your peers question here. And I have a multitude of media, right? I have that YouTube video. I have my Web 2.0 tools. I used as many as I possibly could. I have images. I have hyperlinks into my like slideshows, and I have my my sources. And yeah, so like this assignment like really kicked my butt. I found it very challenging because there was just so much depth to it and there's so much like creation out of nothing. But like having said that, like I really enjoyed it because now I have like all of this is now mine, and if I need to, I could literally roll this out to a class. Like that's the amount of depth, and like there's nothing here is like just like fake or vague. You're not gonna click anything and have it not be like fully filled out and complete. So like I'd be totally comfortable like publishing this on Monday to my health class and having them go through it. So I'm very proud of this project and what have you. And I don't think I'm missing anything on my checklist here. I think I've showcased everything. I've definitely gone over how like I have my prereqs and everything, so you can't just go from one thing to another. Yep, everything is like sequenced. I have all my introductions, on my Web 2.0 tools. I have my formative assessment. I have my individual assessment, my group project. And yeah, so I want to thank you for an amazing semester. Thank you for being my professor, helping us along the way thoroughly. Like, this has been probably my favorite class just because of how much I've learned. It's been my hardest class, but that's good because that means I'm learning. That means I'm out of my comfort zone. And I just wanted to take time to thank you.